My name is Ben Lawrence, and I'm a PhD candidate in mechanical engineering at Texas A&M University, and I'm going to be working with you this school year in your mathematics class. I was born in Lawrence, Kansas in 1982, and I spent most of my childhood growing up in Kansas City, in particular on the Kansas side of Kansas City. I did some of my undergrad at Johnson County Community College. While I was there, I got a degree in liberal arts. And in the process of pursuing my degree in liberal arts is when I first really got down the path of mechanical engineering, and that's kind of a funny story. I was actually studying to be a chef while I was at Johnson County Community College, and as part of the requirements for that, I had to take a course in physics. I took the course in physics and just absolutely loved it, so I changed my major from chef school to mechanical engineering, and I've never looked back. And that's how I got here today, and I'm now working on getting a PhD in the field. So I like that story because it shows that if you're willing to be open to what life presents to you, there's no telling where you might end up. After I graduated from Johnson County Community College, I then transferred to Kansas State University, where I finished up my bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering. In undergrad is somewhat similar to high school or middle school, where you take lots of different classes in lots of different subjects and you get an education in a lot of things. Whereas in graduate school, you really are focused in one subject area. My subject area happens to be mechanical engineering, in particular thermodynamics, and you study that area in depth. So it needs to be a subject area that you really love. Inside my lab is a 30 kilowatt furnace that I would like to take a little bit of time to walk you through how my furnace operates and teach you the inner workings of coal combustion. We're here in the lab that I spent almost all of my time when I was working on my master's work in. And if you look here, you can see the actual furnace that I did use to burn my coal in. And let me go stand next to it so you guys can get some idea of how big it really is. This is me standing next to my furnace. And I'm not a short person to begin with. This is a very large furnace. And the amazing thing is that the furnaces that are used by power companies to produce the power that we use are much, much larger than this. They are several story buildings. What I work with is coal that has been very, very finely ground to being like dust or baby powder. And one of the important things that you need to understand about that is that mimics what power plants that fire coal actually do use in their plants. And one of the most important things that we do in our research is try to mimic what the real utility companies use in their power plants. Right now, what I want to show you is the coal that we use here in our plant. This is a bucket of coal that came from Texas. It's a lignite coal. It comes from the western portion of the state. Maybe some of you have family members, relatives, friends that do coal mining in Texas. And if so, there's a very good possibility that they mined this coal for us. We're thankful for coal miners for providing us with what we need to burn. So now, you can see, I'm able to just scoop it up, scoop it like sand, and it flows. It's very much a powder. And watch, you see this dust that gets kicked up when I drop it. This powder and this dust that's produced is one of the most important things when we're burning coal for large-scale power generation. We need for it to be able to be like this. But there's also a concern. You can see the dust. What if we start breathing that dust? That's going to be a major problem. It's going to, if I continue to just breathe it without anything protecting me, eventually I will die. So that is why I'm wearing a respirator. Safety is one of the foremost concerns in all scientific work. And this here is a bucket of biomass. This came from a dairy outside of the Waco area. It's manure comes from a cow, and then it's been dried and composted and ground to being almost as fine as the coal that we have right here. And you can see it also pours and kicks up this dust. It also has a little bit of an odor to it, but not nearly as much the odor as you would normally think. So we have the biomass fuel and we have the coal fuel. And my master's thesis consisted of weighing out about 1 pound of this and about 4 pounds of this, putting them in a bucket, sealing the bucket, shaking it up, and then burning it in my furnace. That creates a proportion of 20% biomass and 80% coal. My master's thesis focused on changing the proportions of these fuels and looking at how that affected emissions. Another very important part of my research is air. Air is something that we have to have, in particular the oxygen in the air is something that we have to have for combustion. And so one of the most important parts of the firing scheme is how we deliver the air to the furnace, how the coal mixes with the air. And in fact, my PhD dissertation is going to be completely about the best way to possibly deliver the air to get the best emissions, and so we do the least amount of polluting to the environment that we can. One of the other things I think is really interesting about graduate school and how it's different than undergraduate is that I get to work with people from different countries. And that's something that's typical in the engineering field, that you'll have people from Eastern Asia, from India, from Europe, from South America, all come to America, come to Texas A&M University, and want to do their studies here.
Hello, I'm Nicholas Carlin. I work with Ben here at the Combustion Lab at Texas A&M. I have a bachelor's from the University of Texas at Austin. I have a master's from here at Texas A&M.
Hi everybody, my name is Jin. I came from South Korea. It's kind of the west-south of Korea. Then I'm working in Japan. I'm gonna graduate in coming August, so I'll be a doctor when you see me.
My name is Gerardo Gordillo. I am from Colombia.
Yes, I'm working on it
I
right
am
now.
professor in
Just going
Harvard
over
University
some
in
math
the mechanical engineering department. I come here to do one PhD, and in this moment I am working doctoral in
I will be
gasification,
okay.
dairy biomass gasification specifically, to produce hydrogen-rich missions.
And one of the other things that's also important in graduate school is to maintain the balance. When you are working in such a concentrated field, every once in a while you need to take a break from it and do something else. Get away from it. Remind yourself that there are other things in life besides just the schoolwork. So obviously my favorite thing to do outside of my studies is to be with my wife. We play card games, we play dominoes, we hang out with our friends, we go to movies, watch movies at home, we watch lots of television. We're currently getting through the entire series of The Simpsons on DVD. Welcome to my house, guys. With my lovely wife being the videographer, we're gonna walk through a little bit of what I have here at our apartment, and in the process you'll get a chance to see some of the things about me, what I enjoy to do, what I enjoy doing when I'm not busy teaching you guys mathematics. You come this way, we have here some of my absolute most favorite games. Cribbage, which is one of the best card games you will ever learn to play. Anyone that wants to learn to play cribbage, just let me know and I will teach you like that. I love to play cribbage. You got dominoes. I play lots of different types of dominoes. Mexican Train, Chicken Foot, 42, Moon. I love domino games, and I love card games. I like the percentages, the statistics, the odds. There are all kinds of math lessons that we can relate to these things. Here we have a game called Apples to Apples. Everyone here that's played Apples to Apples, you know that this is the best card game ever. Ever. If we come over here, come into my bookcase, my wife's in my bookcase, and you see this. I'm an avid reader. I read lots and lots of stuff. You'll see here, pretty much this entire top shelf here is dedicated to Stephen King books, and we have more Stephen King books here. And I have all of the books from The Dark Tower. The Dark Tower is the best series of books I've ever read in my life. My wife also has lots of Christian fiction novels here. That's her thing. She enjoys those a lot. But we both are very avid readers. I also have a lot of Michael Crichton books. Here's Timeline and Prey. I read a lot of Michael Crichton. I like science fiction. That's just my thing. So any of you that, if you look here, you'll see another aspect of our personality. You guys can tell who this is right here. This is Mickey Mouse. My wife and I spent our honeymoon at Walt Disney World. My wife is a Walt Disney fanatic. She worked at Walt Disney World for a while, and she just loves it, and she's gotten me hooked on it too. And I'll show you a couple other photos from our trip to Walt Disney World. This is my buddy Jason and me at the Norwegian Pavilion in Epcot. My wife and me with the three amigos outside the Mexico Pavilion at Epcot. And one of my absolute favorite photos. My wife and me outside of the Tower of Terror at Disney Hollywood Studios.